Hello there, Dr. Joseph Martin again. The topic for today is Rudolf Steiner, an essential man for our times in the 21st century and beyond. Rudolf Steiner was born in 1861 in Austria, and he passed over in spirit in 1925. He is one of those great people, men of all times, a polymath, a true Renaissance man. His early interests, although he had his own mystical experiences early in childhood, and he studied a great many things in his early teenage years and 20s, including studying with the works of his greatest mentor, Goethe, a great scientist and poet in Germany. And from Goethe, he derived all sorts of amazing creative ideas, which he went on to explore further in his life. He's probably best known as the founder of Anthroposophy, and there are many different avenues from the centrality of Anthroposophy, which is truly a study of the divinity of all humankind. He's best known perhaps as the founder of the Waldorf Schools. Now worldwide, there are Waldorf Schools in virtually all the great nations of the Western world, and now in the Eastern world as well. Many of your students and many of your children may wish to go to the Waldorf schools. His study of education and the needs of the individual child in terms of the sensibility of integration of play and movement with color and art and music, and also self-study, self-taught learning, and the appropriateness of asking questions before finding answers. Rudolf Steiner is also the founder of Biodynamic Gardening, which in our time, with the need for everyone to take care of their own food reserves and sustainability, I would highly recommend you go online and search out any of the over 800 books that are available online about Rudolf Steiner, and some of them obviously will be about biodynamic gardening, planting and harvesting with the seasons of the cycles of Mother Earth and also Grandmother Moon. Besides that, he's the founder of rythme, which is this personable, divine human style of dance and movement and spinning and turning and flexibility and strength, which actually creates a higher consciousness within the human child and the human being. There are many things about Steiner, though, that we have yet to find out. And these are the things that I'm bringing forward as I'm writing and co-authoring some books now with Steiner, who is still in the spirit world. Some of these pertain to anthroposophical medicine, which is my training and background, and there's a lot of innate knowledge and wisdom that can be brought forth still about the purposefulness of healing and how humans, as they access their own inner source, can actually co-create and allow the full humanity and divinity to merge, thus creating perfect health for themselves. And also, Rudolf Steiner was an architect. He built the Goetheanum. He built and devised sculptures, well-known large-scale sculptures in Europe. And also, he was an artist. There really wasn't anything that Rudolf Steiner, in the intensity of his personality and his interests, could not do. Now, why am I bringing Rudolf Steiner back to our times? Well, in essence, he is the first and one of the greatest social activists from the Western world back in the late 1800s. His interests were always about social justice, human equality, the fact that all social institutions needed to be impartial in the way that they treated people. And he was very clear to state that all people on the planet were equal, men, women, and all different ethnic groups. However, deep to the core of Rudolf Steiner's mysticism is his background and interest and high knowledge in Rosicrucianism, alchemy, astrology, and his ability, his fantastic ability, to read everything in the Akashic records. Perhaps Nostradamus is only one other person who is capable of reading the full Akashic records. The centrality of his spiritual wisdom or spiritual knowledge as an historian of all spiritual traditions from earliest times, well before scientists today believe that there were humans. So Pangea, back to uh, before Lemuria, we'll go into that another time. I don't want to go into all these earliest historical epics. Atlantis, of course, and now here we are in the fifth, ending the fifth post-Atlantean epic here in the Western global patriarchal hegemony. Rudolf Steiner, along with the Christ, and I will be writing 7 long volumes on the full history of humanity. And the 7th and final volume will be what is going to happen in the next 5,000 years. The turning point and the essence of all history for all civilizations and peoples on earth has always been and will always be and can only be the centrality of the Christ consciousness on earth. And this, of course, this Christ consciousness was brought from the cosmos, from the higher dimensions, by Jesus, the Christ, the first Christ, here to the earth. And he actually came historically at an earlier time because of all the massive chaos and political, economic, and health issues that were going on at the planet at the time. So the essence of the Christ consciousness as the centrality of all human nature, and it's just a title, of course, we could call it Buddha consciousness, Muhammad consciousness, bless his holy name, peace be upon him, and all Muslims on the planet. And it's also a shamanistic consciousness of all the First Nations and indigenous peoples of the planet as well. It's a state of awareness, heightened super consciousness that everyone can achieve as they open up and clear and move their consciousness and their assemblage point to a higher perspective of unity. There are many more things that we could say about Steiner. What I just wanted to point out is that it would be very valuable for you to go online and look up any of the lectures that were written down by his students and subsequently published by books and lectures, now first in German and now in English and other languages around the world. Rudolf Steiner, a massive intellect, great heart, very kind person, and we'll hear more of him in the future, I know. I just wanted to suggest to you the possibility that for all the times that we're going through in terms of climate change, social justice, worldwide poverty, issues of indigeneity, and also the need to get back in touch with nature, Rudolf Steiner is an essential person for our time and has so much massive wisdom and knowledge that will be continuing to be brought forward for millennia and millennia to come. And it's my humble awareness and service to humanity to be co-creating some new topics and books with Rudolf Steiner. So all blessings, light and love to every single one of you. May the ancient wisdom be brought forward and transformed into the highest, greatest knowledge for our practical use here in the 21st century and for the next 5,000 years and beyond. Om Namah Shivaya.